The robots are coming to take everybody's jobs. At least that's what the headlines are saying. And to an extent, I think the headlines could be correct. You've got AI doing graphic design with text prompts, videos with text prompts. I just recently learned that there's a TikTok app that is strictly AI slop, and I am very scared for our future and the next generation's future. But will they come to take the manual labor jobs, the trades, that sort of thing? I don't think so. Hi, my name is Jeremy, and I have been an automotive technician since 2018. And with the amount of headlines we've been seeing lately, you'd think that there isn't a job in the entire economy that's safe. But I would argue that as good as AI has been getting, and really let's not kid ourselves, ChatGPT is wrong at least, I don't know, 50% of the time. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but we've all asked ChatGPT a question and then known right away that that answer was wrong, or done a quick Google search and found conflicting information. So I don't think we're as close as they would like us to believe that AI is going to take over the entire world. Also, the humanoid robots, I can see them learning to do basic tasks, but how many humanoid robots can you see actually doing regular jobs? AI's really screwed up drive-through orders. That's supposed to be the easiest jobs for humans to do. That's why most of the time those are filled by high school and college kids. That's their first job. It's how they're getting their first work experience. So if AI can't even take drive-through orders properly, what is it really good for? I don't see a future, at least not anytime soon. I could be very wrong. What do I know? I'm not an expert in the field. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. So here's my suggestion. Go get a job that is AI proof. Graphic designer, not AI proof. Even what I'm doing here, not AI proof. This is a hobby, thankfully, but this could be taken over by AI. I'm sure a couple of text prompts in some sort of video software in the next couple of years is going to do this video with much better quality, a more direct script, less stumblings and ums and ahs. I'm sure it's not that far around the corner. But you know what I don't see? I don't see a robot sticking its hand between a cylinder head and an intake manifold to try and get a sensor unplugged. It's just not going to happen. Car designers don't build cars to be fixed by humans, let alone by robots after the fact. They're made to go together in an assembly and then put up in the chassis. Like, that's how drivetrains have been put together for quite some time now. It's easy to assemble everything on a subframe and then just bring the subframe and the body together. But it's not easy for someone to go and say, replace a torque converter. That doesn't necessarily require everything to come out as easily as it went in. Not to mention all of the different connectors that are difficult to actuate after a couple of years, the bolts that are rusted. I can't see a future where a robot can have the feel to break a rusted fastener free without just destroying it. There's a feeling that you learn and that you have to adapt to. Apprentices learn that the hard way, typically. I'm no different. I have snapped several bolts in my time working on cars. One of them was in the subframe of my E34 525i that I drove for approximately 6 or 9 months with one front subframe bolt missing. That was kind of sketchy, but I didn't have anything else to do. I didn't have anything else to drive, and I had no way of getting that bolt out, so I just sent it. But I learned how to extract bolts because of things like that. And that's just not something you can teach a robot, I don't think. So I think if you're in the automotive repair space, your job is safe. I can't see a time where AI will take over everything. What I can see though is something that BMW talked about years ago, AR headsets that would help technicians with like overlays for repair manuals and torque specs and stuff. So I can see if you got like maybe like a version of the Ray-Bans or something, and you were able to scan the VIN and go to a job in the repair manual. I could see that being really handy if it would like overlay torque specs or procedures as you're working. That way you wouldn't have to reference the repair manual as you went along. But even that's only gonna be helpful for the first couple of times. Most of us as technicians will find our own method of doing the job after the first or second time. We'll follow the repair manual to a T on the first one, or at least we'd like to think so. And then, well, this assembly could come out together. It doesn't need to be disassembled in the car. That saves me 10 minutes here. I can avoid this by just taking this bracket out of the way, and that saves me another 10 minutes. That's the sort of thing that technicians look at when they're working. So even having the overlay on like an AR headset is only going to be helpful for the first couple of times, or if you're refreshing your memory. I don't see that being something that a technician would want to use for every job, especially more simple tasks like just doing a basic oil change or something. There's really no point in doing that sort of thing. Other jobs in the physical manual labor side of things, I think are safe as well. You've got construction. I can't see a robot framing a house or pouring a foundation. Even like the best computer graders, the guys that are old school and have the feeling, they don't really rely on that technology. My father-in-law is a hardscaper, a landscaper. He does like pools and backyards, like amazing work, does some really cool things. And he's been doing it for so long that he can jump in a skid steer, a bobcat, an excavator, whatever he needs to do. And it's just second nature. He basically becomes the machine. He's and he doesn't need the nannies and all of the computer controlled, computer assistance features on the new equipment. He's told me that you can program a 1% grade, but he's quicker if he just does it by himself, and he's usually within an inch or two over an entire project. So even that sort of thing, like I don't see AI or humanoids being a threat to those industries. What I do see them being a threat to is super basic things like warehouse, forklift driver, where everything is in a spot. But even then, like if a robot knocks over a pallet, or a robot forklift knocks over a pallet of product, a human's gonna have to clean it up. And who's gonna fix the humanoids or the other computer controlled machinery? A human's gonna have to fix them. It's just, if you read the headlines, everything seems like we're in this window where we're just about to lose everybody in the workforce, and we're all going to have a bunch of thumb twiddlers sitting at home collecting universal basic income checks. And I just don't see that as being the case. There was something else I was just about to say. It slipped. I've derailed myself entirely. Dang. That thought has slipped entirely. Well, that's a bummer. So I don't see it happening, and I think most of you will agree with me, but there's one person out there that knows something, and I want you to leave a comment down below. How far off am I? How wrong am I? What do you see becoming the next big thing that's gone forever in this workforce? Oh, the thought came back to me. The dot-com bubble. There was a million websites that turned into or collected a ton of money for funding and had tons of investment, and they all went belly up. So for every Google or Yahoo, there's a million petrock.com or something silly like that just went bust. And not to mention, I think I heard recently that OpenAI is running in like a $7 billion deficit or something like that. So even the most popular, or one of the most popular AI is kind of operating at a loss. So I think we're gonna have to wait and see what happens in the next couple of years. How many of these companies survive? How many of them get bought up by bigger companies like Google and Amazon? And how many of them just die off completely? So let's get back to what I was saying before. If you know something that I don't, leave a comment down below. If you like this video and want to hear more from my perspective as an automotive technician, consider hitting that subscribe button and following along for the next videos. And if you have any topics or questions you want me to cover, go ahead and leave those in the comments as well. I've been known to reply to hey, my car's making a weird noise, can you check out my short and tell me what's going on? Yeah, I'd like to think that I'm willing to help whoever, whenever, and I can't probably do that forever, but for the time being, I don't get a whole lot of comments, so I can keep up with it. All right, thank you so much for checking this video out. If you stayed this long, you're a real one, and I will see you in the next one.